Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, you are welcome as well. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching us how to cut and sew a 720-degree peplum. So if this is something that interests you, please consider to watch this video to the very end, like and share this video so that others can watch. So let's get right into the cutting table. So the first thing is that the waist of my client is 37 inches. Okay, now we are going to be needing 3 inches for zipper allowance. That is 1.5 inch on both sides of the zipper allowance is what we need. Okay, that means 1.5 on both sides of the back, so that makes it 3 inches for the zipper allowance. Now right here is 1 inch. And this 1 inch, because we are cutting a 720-degree peplum, we are going to be needing 1/2 inch on both sides of the peplum to join the peplum back together to make it one peplum. So that is why we have the 1 inch here. So if I had 37 plus 3 plus 1 will give us 41. So our new waist is going to be 41, because when you are making a 720-degree peplum, you are going to be cutting two 360-degree peplum, and you will now need to join it together to give you one. So that is why I needed to have this 1 inch, so our new waist is 41. Now, because like I said, we are cutting two circle, which is we are cutting two flares, so our new waist now we need to divide it by 2 so that we'll be able to cut two separate flare. So 41 divided by 2 will give us 20.5. So each waist is circle, which means each peplum is going to be 20.5. Okay, so that is why we have 20.5. Now to the radius of a full circle is usually 6.28. So anytime you want to cut your circle, you must always divide your waist by 6.28, and whatever you get is what will help you know how much you need to cut off that circle. You know that when we want to cut our circle, we always place our tape measure like so, and then measure round in order to cut off that small circle that will now serve as our waist. So in order for you to know that measurement you are going to measure around this place, that is why you need your 6.28 radius in order to determine that. So just have this at the back of your mind that anytime you want to cut a peplum, your waist, whatever your waist measurement is, just divide it by 6.28, but ensure that you've already added your zipper allowance. Okay, so after adding your zipper allowance to your waist, whatever you get, okay, divide it by 6.28, and once you divide it by 6.28, your answer is what you are going that's what will help you determine the measurement you have around that circle, and that part that you'll be cutting off. You know that part you'll be cutting off from your circle, which you'll be able to use as your waist. That is the measurement. Okay, so after dividing 6.28 divided by 20.5, what I have now is 3.3. okay, so 3.3 is the radius we are going to need to be cutting off from our peplum, which I'm going to be showing us 3.3. So now after cutting that 3.3, you set it aside. Now the length of my blouse, the blouse I'm working with, is 25, and the half length is 16. So after taking 16 away from 25, I have 9 inches. So 9 inches is going to be the length of our peplum. Okay, so when you add this peplum back to your half length of 16 inches, it will give you back 25. So this 9 inches is the length of our peplum. Now for you to now know how much fabric you need to get in order so that you won't have to waste your fabric, you are now going to add this 3.3 that we got, the radius we got after dividing this and this together, the 3.3, you are going to add it to the length of your peplum. And then because we are going to be needing 1/2 inch at the bottom of our peplum, so that's 0.5. So after adding everything together, I have 12.8, which when you approximate it together, you have 13 inches. So that 13 inches that we have, or let's just say this 12.8 inches measurement, is the measurement on fold. You can see as I folded this fabric together now, it is 12.8 inches. But when I open it up, when I open this up, I will have like 25.5 inches. Okay, so because I just want to approximate mine, instead of using 12.8, I'm just going to be using 13 inches. So I'll just approximate it to 13 inches. So this 13 inches is a measurement on fold. So when I measure this for you guys now, I'm going to have 13 inches. Okay, you can see it's 13 inches, which that is the measurement on fold. But when I open it up, when I open that 13 inches up, I will have 26 inches, which means the total number of fabric you'll be cutting out is going to be 26 inches. The length is going to be 26 and the width is going to be 26, which makes assume that your own measurements gave you 12. So that 12 means when you open it up, you have 24 inches on both sides. If your own measurements gives you 15, that means that 15 is going to be 30 inches on both sides. I hope you understand. Now this 13 inches, just have it at the back of your mind that you are now going to be cutting 2 of it in order to now make up one peplum that will now give you the 720-degree peplum. So right here now, I have 26 inches on both sides of this fabric. So when I close it up together, you now fold it into 2 and then fold it again into 2, which now makes it into 4. Can you guys see now? It is very easy. So the next thing you are going to do now is remember this radius. After dividing 20 divided by 6.28, I have 3.3. So this 3.3 is what I will be marking around here. Now when you are marking, ensure that the part you want to mark is the folded part of your fabric. It should be folded, not the part that is opened. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is on this corner, at this corner here, I'm going to be marking 3.3 inches all around. As you can 3.3 that I got here is what I marked around here, and that is what you will be cutting off. That is what you'll be cutting off away from here. Now from this mark we have here, we are now going to take the length of our peplum, which is this 9 inches here. So I'm going to mark the 9 inches, which is our peplum length. So you mark that. Look, I forgot, this 9 inches are peplum length. Now we are going to be needing half an inch on that 9 inches. So instead of marking 9 inches, I'm going to be marking 9.5. Okay, so what I'll be marking here now is 9.5. Now on this part, I'm going to be adding stitching allowance of half an inch, because you don't need to cut exactly. Don't cut exactly on this circle. If you cut exactly on this circle, by the time you want to stitch it to your waistline, you have excess. So you need to mark half an inch upward, which will serve as the stitching allowance at the waist. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and cut this out. All the side is going to be folded, it's going to be closed, so you need to open one part up. You are going to be opening one part up like so. Okay, so I've opened it up. So here is the second one. Like I said, we are going to be cutting 2. We are going to be cutting 2 of these. So you need to, I'm going to use this to also cut the second flare, so that you won't have to go and be measuring one part of this place. You open it up, as you can see. So this is what we have. Can you guys see? This is what we have. So you just take this one, you are going to add your fusible interfacing to this, then you use this to also cut out your lining and your fusible interfacing. So by the time that part I separated, I'm going to stitch them together, and then the other part you leave it open, because that part is going to serve as the zipper allowance. The other opening part will serve as the zipper allowance, while you need to close this part up. So when you close this part up, you have just one circle. You can see how full it looks like. it's going to now look like one circle. Okay, it's simple interfacing on the two circles, and as you can see, I've joined the two circles together. I've joined it together, and then I went ahead to iron it open. Okay, I ironed the seam allowance open. So I did the same thing to the lining as well. I've also stitched the lining together, as you can see, and I also ironed it open. So what I'm going to do now is to take my fabric and then place the part in which you have stitched, where you join this together. Make sure they are matching each other. You pin them together. Now if you want to add visible interface into your lining, you can go ahead and do that. And if you also want to add crinoline to your lining, you can do that as well, but I'm not adding crinoline. It's just a simple blouse. It's just a casual simple blouse is what I'm making. So what I will do now is to take this to my sewing machine, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch it all round. I'm going to cover the bottom. I'll also cover the zipper allowance area. So guys, as you can see, I have turned the bottom with the lining, and I've also folded the side. This is going to be the zipper allowance area, and you can see where I joined it. This is where I joined it. It will be very difficult for you to know that I actually joined it. So now you have your peplum. So what you can do is you can run a stitch at the top here just to secure the fabric and lining together. You can run a stitch across here, and our peplum is ready. So you can just go ahead now and stitch this to your, you can stitch it to your top, or you can stitch it to your gown. You can stitch it around your knee area. You can stitch it around the waist area. Just do anyhow you want. You can even use it to make a detachable peplum, whereby you can add band at the top and then you add your zipper. So thank you for watching to the end. Please consider to subscribe, like and share this video, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye bye.